Black women over 40, retirement just isn't about money. It's about emotions too. Let's talk about the emotional side of retirement planning. The fears, the pressures, and why many Black women over 40 feel behind financially. But we also are going to talk about how to move forward and plan with clarity and peace. Why retirement planning feels so overwhelming. You trying to figure out which your number gonna be, because that's where I am. I'm not sure if you're watching my series over there, Retiring at 55. I'm trying to figure out my number. I did come to what my number is. If you want to know what my number is, go on over and watch that video. I share what my number is. And that number is just for right now. But why does retirement planning feel so overwhelming? You know, some of us feel like it's only about the number and all the other things. But there is an emotional component that women carry when planning for retirement. Think about it. The fear of not having enough money, feeling behind and compared to others, and just full-blown anxiety about the future. Look at it right now. Who would have thought that we'll be paying almost $6 for gas? You know, especially right here in North Carolina. I wouldn't have thought that, especially for me, premium. Girl, bye. Nobody would have thought that. So you think about where we are today, what the future might bring and so forth and so on. So the anxiety level can definitely be a little bit on the high, and that can make your emotions just be all over the place. And you're like, you know, if I'm sitting here thinking about this now, what the heck the future is going to look like? Sometimes the hardest part about retirement planning is having the conversation. It just makes you feel like just take the Band-Aid off and just have the conversation. Because if you sit back and not talk about what your future holds, because at the end of the day, you control your future. You control your life. Yes, we have roadblocks, society norms and jobs and banks and this, that, and the third, and rent and all these different things that we have to like abide by their rules. But we also can design our own life. But there is a pressure that some of us Black women, we do carry. And these pressures can hold you back when you're trying to plan for retirement. You're thinking about everyone else. So let's get into these really quickly. Caring for parents. I think about that. You know, if I retire at 55, I want my mom to still be here, because there's some things that I definitely want to do with my mom while, you know, I'm retired, she retired. Who don't want to take a picture together and be like, retired, mom and daughter? Who doesn't want to do that? I know I do. But you sit back and you think about all these different things. Will I even be able to retire? I might just still be working. You just never know. Helping adult children. I don't care about that. I'm helping my kids. You know, that's not negotiable. But in some senses, when you are helping some adult children that just don't appreciate your help, that's a difference. It's the difference if you help your children and they appreciate it, and there's another side if you helped me feel like you're supposed to do this. I know for me, my mom helped me for a very, very long time. That is why I am here, you know, taking care of my mom and doing different things, because at the end of the day, I don't have to do this, and she didn't have to do that for me. But at the end of the day, I am going to do it. I'm doing it because I have to. I'm doing it because I want to. It's a big difference. It is a big difference. And I see how she sacrificed and she took care of me, and I'm definitely going to do the same. So in that aspect, for me, I can't do that, but I definitely want to bring it to the forefront, because I know there's a lot of people who are still, you know, taking care of children, different things like that, in regards to even grandchildren. You know, their children are not stepping up to the plate to be parents. So now the grandparent is the custodial parent and things like that. I see it. I see it. So that can definitely prolong you from retiring early or doing things, because you have stepped up to be the actual parent, and you need more funds versus having retirement funds. It's a big difference. So I understand. Supporting extended family. These are some of the pressures that Black women face, because again, a lot of women are taught, support the family, do this, do that. It's all about be of service to someone else besides yourself. Or you rest later. You do that later. Or you can go on vacation, or you can go do. It's always push you to the side, but yet be available for everybody else. No. One thing about Kelly, she don't do that. I help when I can, and when I can't, I don't. And I also look at the surroundings. If I don't see anybody else jumping and moving, what make you think I'm gonna jump and move? I don't care how far, close. If you ain't jumping, neither am I. And last but not least, being the strong one. I have taken off my cape, I want to say about 2 years ago. I think my cape is fully on the floor and kicked under the chair somewhere with dust in the last year. I can't be a strong woman no more. Because you know why? The strong woman has depleted me. And then you get into a space where you forget where you are, you forget who you are, and you forget what you want and need, which are two different things. Ain't doing that. Ain't doing that. Many black women are taking care of somebody else's needs before their own. So now, let's move on to the fear of starting too late. You're not starting late at all when it comes to retirement. A lot of women believe that they're starting too late, but in all reality, they're not. Some of us feel like if we didn't start in our 20s and our 30s, we started too late. But that's not the case. That's not the case. Yes, I've had 401ks and different things at jobs, and I had to pull them out because life got to me and I needed the money. Hardship came in. I'm not ashamed to say it, but here you are in your 40s and you got a whole new 401 lined up. It's okay. It's okay. That's why there's a thing called catch up. Do what you can. Compound. Get aggressive. You do everything according to your terms. Don't compare yourself to others. Don't regret about past financial decisions that you may have made, because guess what? They're in the past. They are in the past. Look at it like you was living your life having a good one, because we all have been there. We all could have been doing this and doing that, and everyone's situation and circumstances are different. Everybody doesn't come from a trust fund. Everybody doesn't have passed down money and things like that. Sometimes you gotta live the life that is put in front of you, and then you can shift as needed until you get, as they say, your frontal lobe and things like that. And then now you can sit and say, you know what? I don't want this. I want that. And the next thing you know, you are designing the life that you actually want. And don't feel discouraged. Don't feel discouraged. Don't feel like, you know what, I'll just take whatever I get. Meaning, you know, whatever I get, if I got a little 401k, or if I don't have that, I couldn't do it because I had to work, take care of this, take care of that. My job didn't have a pension, you know, hope and pray, you know, when I get 62, I could just get what Social Security give me. And then I could just work a little part-time job to kind of supplement. Don't feel discouraged. Don't feel discouraged. Sometimes we got to put our best foot forward for ourselves, because no one is coming to save us. No one. We have to do it for ourselves. Everybody say, I'm going to throw it up and see what happens. And you throw it up and guess what? Nothing comes down. Sometimes you got to put that best foot forward. The truth is, progress can start at any stage of life. Always remember that. You're never too late. You can pick up wherever you are to get your retirement and things in order. Your finances and everything. I'm going to start doing some budgeting, because you guys know my background's in accounting. And I feel like, you know what, that's a strong point for me. Showing individuals how to budget their money. You know, we don't have to sit back and know what you're making and things like that. But I can definitely show you mock templates and things like that. I can definitely show you budget sheets and things that I may use. I'm a simple gal. I use pen and paper and I write everything down. I have a notebook. I don't have a notebook in front of me, but it's just a regular black notebook, and I write everything down. But you can definitely use an Excel spreadsheet with formulas in it, and then you can actually calculate your money, see how much you've been spending from year to date, from month to month, to quarter, and all the different things that you can do in a Google Doc. So I don't know. I'm thinking about creating one, because I really feel like it would be so helpful for ladies to do something on a simple basis. You know, we at an age, we don't need too much fancy. We don't need to see pies and bar graphs. We just need to see what the calculations is, actuals to expenses and things like that. You know, we just want to see things like that. We don't need to see too much. But let me know if it's something that you want. I'm in the midst of doing a couple of different PDFs. I'm definitely still working on the one for retirement, like a checklist for retirement, and a checklist for healthcare, things that we can definitely utilize in this time of our life. So it's coming soon. I forgot about it, but I'm definitely working on it in conjunction to everything else that I have going on. So it's coming, it's coming. So knowing what we know now, it's time for us to reframe retirement planning as a part of self-care. Yes, self-care. You are actually caring for yourself in the future, but you're doing it now because you want to ensure that you're going to be good. So you know how we sit here and we want to do these facials and we want to do these journaling books and we want to meditate. We want to do all that stuff to make sure that we good and we ready. We're going to do that same thing in retirement. We're going to take a little bit of cash, put it to the side, have it over here investing, getting your ETFs, whatever you're trying to do. You might want to get CDs. You might want to get stock bonds. That's what they call them, right? Bonds, stock bonds. I think it's bonds. You know what I'm talking about. But in saying that, we need to reframe it to look as it's self-care and we're pouring into ourselves for the future. And that can kind of lighten the load because you're sitting here saying, you know what? I'm going to buy these flowers, but I'm also going to put this $30 over here in this account so it can grow for me for when I'm ready for retirement. Because you never know. Right now we sitting here and we're like, oh, I'm going to retire at 62. I'm going to retire at 65. I'm going to retire at 60. I'm going to retire at 67, whatever it is. We don't know what life event can hit us. And then we have to retire early. We don't know. So it's best to plan than not plan at all. And plan for self-care. So that's how we're looking at retirement now. Retirement is a form of self-care. And to elaborate a little bit more on retirement being a form of self-care, it's a form of self-love because you just want to make sure that you're good in your retirement years. It's like that pivot that you hit and you say, you know what? I may have not done the best for myself. I may not have been able to do what I can do for myself, but guess what? I can do it now. I may not need a lot of money, but I can just do it now, a little bit at a time. Always remember, it's all about consistency versus the amount. $5 here, $6 here, $10, $20, $100, whatever it is. That matters more than the amount. And when I mean the amount, I mean like putting in a chunk. You want consistently doing this on a monthly basis if you can. So now that retirement is our new self-care, what are we getting out of this? What are we getting out of retirement being our new self-care? We're protecting our future. Also creating peace in later life. We're not waiting to figure it out then. We're doing it now. And overall, we're choosing ourselves. We are choosing ourselves. Planning for your future is one of the most powerful things that you can actually do for yourself. That's why we're here. That is why we're here. So how do we move forward without shame and all the guilt and all the oohs and the ahs and being in our feelings? Because we can get there. I know I can. Like I said, retirement is our new self-care. So how can we do this without feeling shame? We're going to focus on progression and not perfection. And while we're doing that, we're going to start looking at our accounts, ask questions. You know, if something doesn't feel right with you and you're a little bit unsure, ask the question. What is this? Why is this? How can I do this? Do I need to do this? Ask questions and educate yourself gradually. I mentioned in a previous conversation of ours where I'm getting a lot of my education off of the Fidelity actual website. You know, I learned a lot from YouTube. I learned a lot from Instagram. There's 2 accounts that I actually watch, you know, kind of religiously on Instagram. And I can kind of go through and watch them over and over again and binge watch. But I said, you know what? I've done that. That was my first footwork. Now I'm in the arena. I'm in the thick of things. I'm going to the learn area, you know, infidelity, and I'm looking at all their videos and how to invest and what's good for retirement and where to calculate from this age to that age and how much do you need to survive and what is the typical amount and this, that, and the third. I'm asking myself the questions while I'm sitting here watching these videos, and then I go back and forth with financial advisor at Fidelity so I can make sure that I'm doing the best thing for my future and to make sure I'm taking care of myself. Self-care, self-care. You see it, you see it. You don't have to have everything figured out today. What really matters is that you start. Start today. And that doesn't mean that you have to go and actually open the account and put the money in. Do your research. Ask the questions. See what's best for you. And then make the next step. But just start. Start somewhere. Everybody's comfort zone is different. Retirement planning isn't just about money. It's about creating a future for your time, your health, and your peace. Ladies, if you enjoyed this conversation, go ahead and hype it up. Like, comment, subscribe. When you do that, it brings more Black women over 40 on over here to our community, like-minded women, and we can just flourish and our community will just grow. And if you know a Black woman over 40 who would love conversation like this, go ahead and share with her. Bring her on over to her to come and have a good time with us. We love that. Ladies, I truly appreciate each and every one of you. We're going to keep these conversations going because at the end of the day, I want each and every one of us to retire how we want to. And always remember that retirement planning is self-care. You're caring for yourself in the future. Okay? Talk to you next one.